So since I have finally completed my headphones to making it a Bluetooth one, so let's see if finally it works. Yes, it is both working. So this is the plan which I devised before, so that it may help the people who are also trying to build this. So in simple case, this is the micro USB chip. So it has two inputs and two outputs. So this would be the input from the micro USB charging, whereas the outer 2 points are for output. So one will go to VCC plus, which is again point on the Bluetooth chip, which will be connected to the plus point, whereas the GND, which is nothing but the ground, would be connected to the negative output point. And then we have in and out of on the micro USB chip, which would be connected for battery, and the GRL, which is the ground, the right and the left, which would be helpful for connecting the audio jack over here. And this is the common circuitry that one will go out to the speaker, one right will go to the speaker, one ground will go to one of the speakers, then one right to the another, then one left to the another, then a ground to another. And so this circuitry would help us to complete the whole project as well as the circuit of the headphones. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So basically what I have done is I have soldered all the wires according to the plan, and the long wire which you are seeing, the white wire, is actually going to go towards the second side of the headphones. So in on one side of the headphone I would be having the Bluetooth chip, whereas on the other side I would be having the power chip, so that the weight is distributed throughout. So let's get on to the second. So before we solder this chip, I think it would be better to solder on the speakers, so that it is easy to swap the changes later on, because the other part of the wire would be going to the other side of the headphone. So first soldering one part of the headphone and then moving to the other would be better. So what we would be doing here is, first we would be connecting a ground and a right towards the right headphone, and then a left which would be brought back by another wire with the left of the headphones. So along with that, we also have to solder the headphone jack on this. So what we would be doing is, first we would be soldering one part of the headphone jack, say the right and the ground, towards the right one, along with the wires received by the Bluetooth receiver of right as well as the ground. And on the left part we would be taking back by the wire, with the white wire, to the left part of the headphones, whereas it is also connected with the right and the ground of the Bluetooth receiver, which would be powering this part of the headphones. So I'll skip on, and I'll show you how it will look like. So now coming to the end, there would be one, two, and the third wire, which would be going to the towards the headphone jack, whereas the other part of the wire uh, would be going towards the other side of the headphone. So before we go, we should solder the headphone jack. So let's get started with the soldering of the headphone jack first. So since hole one of the side has been soldered and completely ready, let's just test this out. So I have connected a wire, and which I'll be connecting to my phone. So if this sounds, I think the wiring for the first audio jack as well as the Bluetooth has been correctly done. So let's just try to play some music. Well, that is working. I'm quite happy with this. So after doing one of the sides, we'll be jumping to the next side, which is first of all I would be transplanting this whole thing into the headphones, and provided after that I'll be doing the wiring of the headphones from above, so that once it is done, uh, we can go forward to uh, connecting the circuit for the battery. So I'll just get back to you once I have finished this process. So it's been for about 3 hours working on this project, and it seems I'm getting no lead. So we'll try it in some time. So guys, it's day 2 and it's still not working. The problem which I'm facing is that the green, the positive wire as well as the negative wire. The positive is responding to the negative one, and the negative is also responding to the negative. So that does not make any circuital sense, which I'll say. So mm, let me show you the problem first. So I had made a tester just to test some source. So in this case the key is on. So when I connect this you can hear the sound of the speaker. So if I connect the negative terminal to the positive of this wire, this works fine. And in this case it will work sometime and it won't. So when I connect this, nothing is happening. So this is the problem which I am facing. So let's get back whenever I get this. So it has finally been detected, but since the wiring are not correct, or the wiring is not internal, I had to wire it from outside, and it is detecting now. But if I reattach the wires and if it doesn't work, then it would be a problem again. So we'll see once it connects, because it is not connecting either. So I don't know. I had removed uh, the small battery before. I had removed this battery, and instead of this, I had to install a bigger one, so that to check if this is working or not. Well, it seems the other one is working and the small one is not. So once I get to connect with this, I'll go on further with that. So it's been more than the expected time which I had set for completing this project. So it is already now, I guess, 6 days, and the Bluetooth chip which was delivered to me by the seller did not respond to my request, stating that the chip was not working as it wasn't taking the 5 volt supply. So what I did was, I had stripped out this Bluetooth sticks which you can find it on the signals and all for around 50 rupees. These vary from around 50 to 100 depending on the seller you buy it from. And so I stripped it down, and the supply which was of 5 volt, the other chip which took an input of 5 volts and gave out output. So I connected the battery of this to that chip, and so that the charging could take place. as the chip was too small, and I connected the audio jack with the output the of this Bluetooth chip, so as that would work. And I was surprised to see that nothing was wrong and everything worked very well. So if I can go through, so I'll show you how it worked. This is So basically in this, what I had done was connected the chip for which received the input for 5 volts. So the battery is connected to the input and output, and here I connected the output which directly went to the uh, battery input of the circuit. So this whole thing would help me to attach separately to the headphones. So well, I was not correct to the point in piercing the headphones, as I did it with my solder gun. Well, I won't recommend you because that would definitely destroy your solder gun. So try something else. And the headphone jack is connected to the headphone jack, the another headphone jack which will receive the input from the wire. So this is how the main circuit is. And now when coming to the digital button of this Bluetooth chip, as you can see that the Bluetooth chip in this does not work on the on and off scenario, the normal button which work nowadays. So what I did was I decoded the button. So now if imagine, I'll display it to you on a piece of paper now. So what I had done in this was, if this is a switch of the Bluetooth module, so what how this works is you have to press the switch for 2 seconds to switch this on, and then 2 seconds. I'll write this on and this is off. So then 2 seconds to turn this off. So now how to decode this? What I did was I connected this and this to a on and off switch. So now this switch hole as is now useless. Now whenever I turn this switch on, the current will directly pass in this to this terminal. So what this will do is it will send the current for 2 seconds, and after that you can switch this off. So when you switch this on, the current will go in for 2 seconds, then switch this off, and so this will turn on. And whenever you have to close or switch off the Bluetooth module, what you do is you pass the current for another 2 seconds, which will again send in the current, and this will estimate it as the signal has been sent for 2 seconds to switch this off. So this will turn off. So this is how you can decode this, and it will be easy. So I think this is the best way you can do this, and I'll get back to you once I have completed the headphone. So since I have finally completed my headphones to making it a Bluetooth one, so let's see if finally it works, and then if it does, then I'll be putting on back my earpads. We'll try to play some song. Yes, it is both working. So this is how you make a headphone. Now you can put this back up, the earpads, as well as connect this wire with some super glue so that it stays in place. And yes, we have the Bluetooth headphones over here. Now coming to the cost of these headphones. Now it took me overall 8 days to complete this project, and it was 8 continuous days of hustling to just finish them off, because sometimes either the circuit would break, or just some of the other problem would come up. So I would definitely recommend you to directly go up and buy a new headphones, or instead you can, if you want to try for some fun purpose, you can definitely go and build these headphones. And when it comes to the price point, I had been using these Sony headphones from around, again, this is not a sponsored video by Sony, So I have been using the Sony headphones for around 2 to 3 years now, and since these were wired and the wire had broken off, so I had the option to just swap it with the Bluetooth module and to make this work. And so the over the additional cost of making these headphones was around 250 to 300 rupees. So that would be a minimum, or if you would like to go for some other luxuries too, you can definitely go for expensive chips which are available everywhere if you see on Amazon or some of the other websites. And these headphones were for around 600, 500 to 600 rupees. So, and well, I was quite happy to make these headphones. So this is all for this video. Hope to see you next time.